Do do dum dee dum do 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 do. Yeah, let's throw this up here, and that, and that, and that, and that. Okay, new project start. Hello. Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you this morning? This fine, fine morning. We're gonna wait a little bit because I said 11, so we're gonna give it at least another 10 minutes or so before I officially dive in. Do 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 dum dee dum 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 do 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 do. Okay, I should. Yeah, yeah, ditto. Like I don't really get why we have to have the same exact schedule, other than I think they assume that we're going back to school before the end of the year, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know. We might. It's possible. But you'd think they would be like, hey, let's just all get up at like 9. It's still early ish. I don't know. Well, I'm going to start my prep here a little bit. Reverb, delay. Why not? Boink, boink. Levels all the way up. Yeah, I watched Beardsley live this morning, and Mrs. Alberth was like, like, way too quiet. So we had a staff meeting after that, and everybody was like, you were too quiet. Kind of funny. Kind of funny. Not really that funny, though. I don't know why I'm removing channel strips. Just because I can, I guess. You can do this. You can add channel strips and remove channel strips, so, you know, might be useful. Ding, ding, ding. Who dis? Emails, 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 emails. When is this project due? It's on Classroom. It has a due date. It's all there. It's there. You just have to read. Yes. Samples project is due next Friday, the 17th. Well, do 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 do. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna make sure that enough people join, so maybe a couple more minutes. Started a little bit on the earlier side. Oh no, server, please don't disconnect. Oh, that was horrifying. I was just I was looking at Reddit, and somebody was like, "What could go wrong if you stick your head outside of the escalator while it goes up?" And it was some girl with really long hair, and her hair got like caught in the handrail, and her head was stuck on the escalator as it went up, and then her head bonked into a wall, and she was still stuck on the escalator, and it looked really painful. Anyways, silly humans. Um, okay. So, some people are here. I imagine others will hopefully tune in a little bit. But let's get started here, and yeah, all that stuff. So the samples project. One of the things that we got to think about is just a general mood kind of a thing. So if you look at this, it's very, very, very vague. This, the directions and stuff. Um, Basically, make a song with samples. 2 minutes long, only samples, which means no synthesizers and stuff like that. And it has to have a change of rhythm or style somewhere in it. All right, reverb and delay, blah 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 blah. This is the big thing that we're going to talk about today: is the rule of 8 and using 8 measure sections and stuff like that. So, first thing you got to do is think about a concept. What do you want to do? Do you want it fast? Do you want it slow? Do you want it happy, sad? Like what kind of a mood? What I like to do for that is the first thing I'm going to go to is my sample tab. I'm going to go to the all button. Okay, because if you just do loops, for example, it's all tempo specific. If you do all, it's not tempo specific. It's all mixed together. And then, okay, that'd be kind of cool. We could do like a house track or something like that. Let me come back to that. I'm going to throw that in here just for kicks. I might come back to it. Eh. That's more of a house kind of a sound. And this won't play because it's not plugged in. So I could use it at that tempo. That'd be fine. This was at 134, so I'm going to investigate a little bit and try to find something at 134. See if anything else pops up. This is that one. Yee. Yee. No. That's cool and all. Who made this? Oh, this is an Audiotool loop. Okay. Okay. So what I did was I typed in the type. If you look down here at the bottom right, and it shows you a little example or a little explanation, of where this came from. And it says, this sample is part of the blah, 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 something in Wizard Booty Breaks collection, right? So I just typed in the word wizard because that's a distinct word, right? Typed it in up here, and then all of the ones from that particular section or selection came out. So I'm going to up my tempo to 134, and let's kind of go with that as what to use. I'm actually going to insert a few channel strips, okay? So the cool thing is now you're kind of almost guaranteed that these are sort of going to match a little bit, okay? So drum loops, awesome. Hello. Okay, that's a thing. What bass? One of the hardest things to do in this particular project is to match your notes. And to make sure that the notes actually fit. So you might grab a sample at one tempo, and then you change the tempo, and then you grab another sample, and it's trying to play notes, and then you listen to the both of them combined, and it sounds really, really horrifying. Just because it doesn't match the notes at all. And that is a common problem. Okay. So let's keep looking around. It's kind of cool. Stop. All right. Well, first of all, there's just too much stuff here, right? We don't want to just start with everything. It doesn't make any sense. So let's see. Where was that one? Do I already have that in there? I'm going to keep my piano samples kind of all in the same place here. And I'm going to keep them in the same-ish place here as well. Easy to lose track and to get disorganized on this and just like have a ton of samples and not know what they are and then just give up and throw them together and not care. That's really easy to do. So this is this. And then, okay. So, now we're going to kind of, well, I keep doing that, oh my god. Now we're going to kind of talk arranging, all right? This is the big thing. Arranging is how you kind of stack up the different parts. You have different sections in your song. All that other happy stuff. And that is not an easy thing to do, to deal with. that's where listening comes into play, and kind of thinking about, like, hey, how many beats are here, how many measures are here, when does that part come in, that sort of thing. And there are things that make sense, and there's some formulas too that songs tend to use, especially songs, more in the pop arena of things, pop, rock, um, dance music kind of stuff. That stuff tends to um, it tends to follow a formula. Okay, you can slow down a sample, but again, you're taking a big risk. Okay, so let's look at that first. If you want to manipulate a sample, what can you do? There's a couple of things that you can do. Double click to open it up. Okay, what you can do is there are these two little points. These guys right here, these little squares. Okay, and if you move it left and right, what it's doing is time compressing everything. Okay, so if I took the same sample and I made it half the length, it plays back twice as fast. And because of how pitch works and samples work, it also makes it play an octave higher. All right, so if you have that chord and you make it go twice as fast, it's going to play up an octave. All right, now that's okay for the most part. Like, if you do that might be perfect. It might be exactly what you need. Most of the time, though, you're going to want to nudge it a little bit, and that doesn't work. Okay, this is the big problem with using samples, and it's not an easy thing to solve. I will say that. Okay, now there are other solutions available to us. They're not great solutions. So let me give you this example. Let's say I really wanted to use this sample, but I wanted it to play the same exact notes at a different pitch or rhythm. How the heck would I do that? Okay, well, that's when our friendly neighborhood machinist comes in. All right, now the machinist can load any. Is that it? No, that's the one. Okay, so if I took this sample and I dragged it into my machinist. Stop it. Quit it. Why are you red? Weird. Okay, I guess I'll use the first one. Okay, we'll use the first one instead. Why are you red? Oh, I guess it's just being dumb. Okay, so nothing's going to happen now. I'm going to just drag this out of the way. So if I hit play, nothing happens. If I click one of these guys... Alright, so to hear what it's doing, it's re-triggering the start of this sample every measure. So it's only getting through these two little parts. This is the first measure of it, and then it restarts it every single time, over and over again. Like, okay, now that can be used, right? We can use different parts of that sample in different places. So for example, we could trim the end point, first of all, so that it just plays the first chord. It takes a lot of trial and error. More. There we go. Okay, so now all we have is that part. Done. Now I can add some rhythm. Okay, and I can even change the pitch too. I can make it. Okay, so now you can actually kind of do some interesting things. You can play it more like an instrument if you do this. But if you notice, like, what did I really have to do? Well, I had to kind of chop up this sample and only use small parts of it in order for that to even work. That's still an option, and it's not a terrible option, to be honest. Other ways to do this. Let's delete this sample, and I can show you what else to do here in terms of remove. There we go. Okay. In terms of the actual sample itself, like, okay, there's my sample. But we have a tool here. We have the razor tool, and it's button number 3. If I click button number 3, then my cursor is going to change. No, it's not. There it is. Okay. So what if I did that? And I went and I chopped up this sample into all of its little components. Okay. So now these are all like separate parts, essentially. Right? If I took the first one and I closed it down and I opened this up, what is it? Now I can go through and I can change that. So now if I hit play right here, it's just the last. Although it's a little weird. It's a little... Oh, gosh. I will figure that out sometime in my life. So I'm going to need to zoom in and be like, doink, there. And now... Okay, I don't really like it. So I can do this with the first one. Take that, shorten it. That one I'm going to chuck. This one. Whoa. There's that one, and that is this. Okay, let's just keep that there. And what's this one? Okay, I want one of those. So, again, take all of these parts, shorten them. Okay, and I'm going to take these and then chuck them. All right. So now I have 3 separated chords, and they sound like that, that, and that. All right. Well, now I can actually start putting these rhythms together. Okay, I can make sure my snap here is probably on 16th note. Okay. So what if I just started it like this? All right. Not horribly exciting. Okay. But if you wanted to change the rhythm, like now you could. And then you could add in, you know, your other sample bits and stuff. So slicing and dicing a sample is sometimes a really good option as well. It just sort of depends on what you want to use it for. Okay, I kind of like the idea of using it in the machinist, to be honest. Why? Weird. It's all red. All right, so we can keep that there. We don't have to necessarily use it. As long as there's nothing clicked up here, it won't really matter. So let's find the original again there. And I hate that color. I always hate those default colors. So here we are. So what goes with that? Nope, we don't want to fire that up yet. I want to keep it kind of. That goes with it. So now we copy and we start layering. Okay. So what you want to do is keep 8 measure sections. All right. 8 measure sections. This is the key to the rule of 8. Right. Use 8 measure sections, except maybe the intro. And the intro can be different. Transitions can be different. But the bulk of your song should have 8 measure long sections. And that's just a simple way to start. Okay. This is by no means like a perfect solution, like, oh, this is going to work for every single song. Of course not. Doesn't make sense. But it can certainly work for starting. Okay. So now we got... little transition there, cut out the drums for a measure, okay? And now we can start talking like bass. Yeah, I guess that one sort of works. I don't know if I already have that one in here or not. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. Okay. Bass is purple. So that is 4 measures, and then we're going to double that to another 4 measures, right? And then we're going to take our things from here and here, and now we have a new section. Okay, but this I want to listen to, and I want to boost the bass. Now you notice that when I did that, the volume started peaking. Okay. So I need to turn the overall volume down just a little bit. And that might mean turning down the levels of other stuff as well. Okay, so there is a thing. That is a thing that exists. There are those strings. That might be a good thing to go with next. Okay, so that guy. And then basically taking all of these 3 parts, stacking them up over here for another A major section. And then I move my loop over there too, because that way you can hear a couple times. The strings are really loud. Strings don't perfectly work. They're a little weird in terms of tempo and timing and stuff like that. But they're alright. Okay, and every once in a while, I'm going to play it back from the beginning, because you got to think, like, hey, what comes next? That's how you tell. You got to hear the whole thing. Okay, I don't like those strings. I'm not going to put them in there. Ooh, that I like. Nice fat 808 style bass. Boom. Color. Sure, let's do that. I don't think it's going to go here, though. My limit is not on. I'm like, I keep hearing distortion. Why? Oh, I still... Okay. I'm going to bring that in a little bit. I need something else to kind of blend in with this. And now I might have to go back to general samples here and see what I can find just at that particular tempo. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. That might go well. Really quietly in the background, like way in the background. That's cool. All right, I like that. That's a good blend. That one's pretty good too. I'm going to use a lot of these. The reason I'm hearing that these things actually work is that I can hear that they're in like the same pitch, right? So we're going to need a bigger mixer. That sometimes can be tough to spot. I will say that when we're dealing with samples and tempo becomes a fluid thing and changing the pitch of every single thing that happens, that is a really big challenge. Nope. Nope. Nope, that's what I just had. Nope. Nope.
From the top to the very last drop.
Maybe.
From the top to the very... From the top to the very last drop.
Let's throw that in there just in case. Actually, though, you know what? I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it in my machinist. Okay. It feels like that's kind of a trigger it once or twice. Yeah, you can chain mixers in Audiotool. No, there's no signal loss. It's purely digital, but like you kind of don't need to. If you wanted to do it for organization, that makes more sense. You can just add more channel strips. So this is like an infinitely large mixer. Like you can just keep expanding it and stuff. Organization becomes a huge issue though, because you know you're gonna lose track of what's what and what goes where. Now the other thing is, if you look at the project, it's got to be 2 minutes long. Like, how do you tell what to do? We still need a change of rhythm or style. So what I like to do is think about my time. I go to my bars, this thing up here that says bars, click the word bars, and it turns it into time. Okay. So I'm at 50 seconds already. Wherever the cursor is, that's what gives you the time. Okay. So this might be a good time to do a little like a breakdown in the middle. All right, let's listen to where we have so far, at least the last 2 eighths. Okay, kind of cool. I'm going to do this. I'm going to continue this next. And then I'm gonna go to like a straight up 4 on the floor, like turn this into kind of a pounding rager part next. So what's gonna happen in there? Is this the like the classic? No, top it, top it. No, not that. There was another piano sound that was like. That's the one. Okay, so right here, that's gonna start, and we're gonna start our 4 on the floor, full on house party dance session thing. All right. So to do that, I'm gonna need some more drums. The drum loops that I have are cool, but they don't really work that well. So I'm gonna build up a quick drum kit here. I need a good punchy kick. No, 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 no. That was weird. That's not bad. Okay. So, basic kick. Why you turn red, machinist? You weird. And then we need a snare or a clap, and we need hi-hats and that kind of stuff. So let's look for a clap or like a snare clap that's like combo. That's a little bit too long. Oh, that I like. Okay. That's kind of that snare drum clap combination. Let's look at hat. Hat is the easiest way to find hi-hats. Okay. Closed hi-hat. There we go. Hi-hat closed. How about hi-hat open? That's a pretty good open hi-hat. Okay. So super basics right there. Let's get a crash cymbal too. What? Okay. It's an okay crash. All right. So there's our drums. So we're coming in here. Okay, and that will be kind of like the build up. And I'm going to use this as a note track. Let's use a note track. And we'll start this stuff halfway through that. We're not going to color it like that because it's obnoxious. All right, now time to zoom. Zoom. Okay. Now what I want is no. B? Okay, and then we're going to get stupid with this. put the last one in. Quarter note right on the bar. Bam. Okay, I should just be copying these. Instead, I'm double-clicking like a noob. Okay, and then the other thing I want to do is this. This thing here. Alright, I want to make sure that's not straight at all. That's sort of straight. No. There. We need to make more room. That really didn't help at all. Okay. Anyways, here's what I'm doing, right? Whatever this thing is down here, these are velocity levels, okay? And if you notice, when I change these, it changes the color of the little thingy above it, okay? So right now, the velocity is dependent on whatever is up here. Okay, so the velocity is controlling the level of that kick drum. I kind of don't want it to. I actually want it to control the filter. Okay, so now I can do like this kind of thing, and I can hear it here. Okay, if you listen to it really carefully, it's actually... It's actually kind of like fading out. So if you want this to happen, then here's what we do, right? The more... Oh, wait, I'm controlling the crash. Estupido! No, this. This we want. We don't want no crash. We want that. And we want that. And now let's try it. You hear it's getting a little bit brighter towards the end. Kind of goes... Okay. So, there's that. Come on. Close. 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 Oh, that's right. I don't have that. Stupid. Okay. So, here's our little breakdown in the middle. And then we start in with our next chunk. Okay? The chunk is going to be feel. This is going to be the basis of it. And we're going to go with a nice, happy 4 on the floor. We'll get a good pattern track going here. Create a pattern track. Bickety bam. Let's just do 8 measures. Just straight up. And all of this guff in the middle. We need to get rid of that. Move that stuff out of the way. That where it was? Okay, yeah, 2 above. I'm going to keep it in the same track. Alright, so here we are. Alright, copy pasta. Copy. Paste. And then we need that on off beats. And then we need our that on that. And then we've got pattern number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we've got this. And I'm kind of working on 2 sections at once. What I want is a little bit more busyness here. Obviously, there needs to be more stuff in there, so I don't know what else I've got. I know I have this bass going that I could use. That works. This probably won't. You know, as a matter of fact, that string just doesn't work at all. I'm going to delete the whole track and the sample because I hate it. I hate it. Let's make it go away. What is this? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Let's keep that in here right there. The other thing is maybe let's actually extend this pattern for half of that first section. Okay, and then we got like a little bit of a, here's our transition. Yeah, that's better. Starting halfway through that section. It's just like the intro. Now, what is this? Alright, so that's in E, and then it goes to a B, and then it goes to an A. That would have been a good, like, middle part if we had the chords and the stuff to support it, but since we don't, I'm just going to delete it. I need more sounds right now. So here's one thing I want to do is work on this transition a little bit. It's a little bit thin, so we've got this vocal sample.
From the top to the very last drop.
Yeah, and that is going to go through some pulsar delay. That, there, that, 2. I don't know what I have open. I can't see anything. Oh my god. Okay. Channel 10 is open. Let's throw it in channel 10. That's cool. Okay, so that is going to be... I'm just going to put that in as a little bitty pattern track. Where should I do that? Oh, I know. Let's take all of this stuff and just move it off to the side. And we will trigger that little sample right here. No, not that. We're going to trigger that sample where? Let's have a new note lane. Okay, you can have multiple note tracks for instruments. That is not a problem in the least. I do want to move that guy down. Okay, so that right here, now we'll just leave it pink. Why not? So we're going to have one particular sound right there. This note track will be used for one thing, which is okay. Any C there. Okay, so let's listen to the timing and see if it works. Keep my metronome going too. 2, 3, 4, boom. Okay, that actually is pretty much perfect. I wanted one measure of pause. So then we have this stuff coming in one measure later than we originally thought. So it's not totally butted up against it. All right, this is a good time to listen from the beginning. This is also a good time to save it. House samples. Why not? Let's do that. And now's the time to administer some caffeinated beverage. Okay. Hurry up. Hurry up, Audiotool. Let's see who's emailing me with questions. Okay, it's done. Here we go. Listen from the beginning. So this would be the feel or style change right here. Here it's much more laid back, kind of taking it easy. Okay, that'll work. And then maybe something new here. Maybe. What time are we at here? We are at minute and 49. So right on sub. Right on schedule here. 2 minutes and 3 seconds at the end. So the easy thing to do would be add something new here. Okay, definitely. As to what that is, I don't know. Let's look around and let's see what we can find. Maybe we found something new. And then we'll do a fade out, and I'll show you how to do a fade out really, really quick here. Okay, fade outs are. No, let's look for a sample first. Let's not get sidetracked. Or what? No. Nope. Let's look down a page or three because. Nope. Weird. What?
Come again!
Okay. That's cool. Okay, interesting. What do I really want here? What would sound good? I would want like a longer, like a lead sound, just something kind of like guitar or synth or something like that. But that's not going to be in a sample. Weird.
Tell your friend.
Okay. No.
I know you don't love me.
Okay. I have a rant. It's a small rant. When people upload samples, when they make their own samples and they put a ton of reverb and delay on the sample, now you have no ability to control that when you use it. And that's lame. So, anybody that's uploading samples, don't put effects on it. Make it raw. Let us do the or the effects. You do the sampling, we'll do the effects. Yeah. Thought so. But see, that's not 130. It's going to play faster, which means it's going to be basically a C minor. Nope. Okay. See, this is where it gets kind of tricky, right? We could use one-shots. All right, so that, for example, if we just took that and we stuck that sample in here, and then we got rid of the red. Hello? Why you no make no sound? There it is. Okay. And it's not really matching. Okay, and then we can trim the endpoint. It just gets the first thing. That. Okay, that works. That. All right, so let's do this the easy way. Let's copy, paste. We'll add that in each and every time. And then all of these guys, we're going to change the pattern. A3. Boink. Now here we have a little extra. That's better. It's still not perfect. I could probably put it at like 200 and that would be perfect. Okay, that's not bad. It's not quite perfect. So now, last thing, fade out. What do we do for a fade out? We have all this junk, and we just need to turn the level down on everything. So there's your magic thing, right? Right click on it, automate parameter. And then for the last 8, this chunk right here, we're basically going to have the level turn itself down. That's my endpoint, by the way. I change my endpoint to my song. Well, how do we do that? Well, that's really easy. First thing, you double click, you make your region, set it as long as you need it. I would do a fade out a little longer than you think. And then I would extend this a little bit farther. No, not that. That. Okay. So now as it gets there, and you can see the knob right up above, it'll just start fading away. And then it disappears. Okay. Now, let me show you what happens if we cut that off earlier. It might not do it. It'll be like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that now. But you might get a little tail end of sound. No, it didn't do it. Okay. Let's say if for some reason we just decide, oh, let's make it come back up here. Then you get this weirdness. And like it just comes back. Okay, so be careful that this is not like here or something, right? That it's actually at the end of your track and it doesn't go backwards. So, okay, let's listen to the entire thing. Let's listen to the whole thing all together. bars. We are at 2 minutes 15 seconds. Okay, so like there's the whole thing. Now I will say that the change of feel or style, whatever in rhythm in this is pretty subtle. It's not a massive shift, but sometimes you can have a massive shift. You can do a halftime thing. So like in the middle, all of a sudden it gets like huge and like, and then it like comes back in. But you'd have to start at like your full speed kind of thing. This kind of started a little bit more chilled out, and then it used this little section in the middle to kind of build it up, transition it into something else. There was too much delay on that vocal. That's better. Actually, go less than that. So I mean that's basically the thing for today. We haven't talked about making your own samples. That's not really part of this project. And that's a whole other thing, right? Depends on your. That's very hardware based. Like you're just on a Chromebook. Whatever you make is not going to sound that great unless you have some other stuff to go with it. So we'll cover that if we get to it. We'll see. So I think I'm going to end it here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. And be sure to ask questions. Be sure to email and so on and so forth. And I'll get to your questions as soon as I can, which is usually within minutes. And that's about it. So, hey, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm sure I'll do this soon, probably a couple more times this week, I would think. So, hasta la vista.